Hello everyone and welcome to the Residents of Evil podcast. A while back we interviewed Erin Cahill. She talked about Jason Faunt possibly coming on the show for an interview. Erin sent a message to Jason and he reached out to us. It took us a while to set this one up due to his busy schedule, but we finally were able to get it worked out. The interview took place while Jason was traveling by car to the airport to fly out to a convention. So here's the interview with Jason Faunt, motion capture for Leon in Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil Vendetta. I just want to let you guys know the ROE podcast is available on iTunes, so if you'd like to listen to it there, check it out, and if you enjoyed it, please leave us a review. Alright, with that being said, let's start the show.
So starting off, how did you get your part to do the motion capture for Leon in Resident Evil 6 and Vendetta?
You know what? The first time Ruben Langdon was a stuntman on Power Rangers.
Right.
And he eventually went on to go into the gaming world, and he kept bringing me into audition for different video game franchises. Okay. And I'd never done motion capture before, so it kept not working. I would go in and get it, and finally Resident Evil 6 came along, and the producers were from Japan for that one, and of course, they were excited because of my Power Rangers background.
Right.
The audition went really well, and I booked the role. So it was through Ruben that I got into the room.
It's funny talking with him and just his history with Capcom and making the games. He's kind of the bridge between Power Rangers and almost all of Capcom.
He is the bridge. Yeah, he is in the bridge. Yeah.
Remember, he had said,
it was a great opportunity. I was really excited to be a part of it.
Definitely. And you're awesome as the role. I mean, you can see the shift. I mean, Leon's he's a staple of the series, and he's a great character. And just you can see the difference in transition when you had taken over the part, how the choreography and the stunts and the motion capture came together to be really fluid and clean. Thank you
so much. Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing. Those games are so much more involved than I could ever imagine.
Yeah,
a lot of fun doing it.
Were you a fan of Resident Evil at all before you got the part?
You know what? I was familiar with it. I hadn't played any of the games, but of course I was very familiar with the live action.
Right.
And so a fan from afar, but I had not played the games up until that point.
Have you had a chance to play or check out any videos since then? RE6 was, I think, maybe 5 years ago?
Oh my God, it's been that long, huh?
I guess so. It has been. It came out for us anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out in 2012. And then Vendetta was just recently, which kind of kicked this all off. You know, we reached out to, it was just weird because I was following Erin, what she had posted up on the Vendetta, so we were trying to, see what was going on with that, and then I messaged her Facebook page. Karen, I think Karen's the one that manages it for, and Karen got me with Erin, and then Erin did the interview, and Erin led to you, and I was like, you know what, this is a lot of fun, so I'm going to start reaching out to everybody and see who we can get involved, and Vendetta is kind of what kicked it all off, so.
Very cool.
So, you guys have your history together with Ruben, Erin, and everybody else in the Power Rangers team. What was it like reuniting? I know you and Erin do a lot of conventions together because of Time Force, but do you do a lot with Ruben as well?
You know what? I did one convention with Ruben, and that was in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
I was in Orlando with him last year. So, no, I actually have not done a lot with him, which is a bummer because I'd love to, especially considering we both have been such a big part of the Resident Evil franchise.
Right.
But yeah, I have not. I actually have not.
How was it coming together, the three of you again, to do Vendetta?
It was great. I mean, Erin got the audition for Vendetta through me. When I went in to read, they said they were looking for that role.
Right.
And she said, "Who do you recommend anyone?" I was like, "You know what? Bring in Erin. I mean, it'd be great because we're both on Power Rangers, and she booked the part."
Yeah, definitely.
So it was cool. And Erin's been like my little sister for 15 years. So
we had talked about that, how close you guys are. It's like a brother-sister relationship.
Yeah. So it was cool. We ran around Japan for 3 weeks and saw a lot of great things and had a lot of fun. So it was good to get back with her and work with her again.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I mean, you did the motion capture for Leon, so you guys were, on the soundstage the whole time in the booth or the void, whatever they call it, doing all the motion capture. And then you also came back to voice Aaron, who has, you know, a pretty relatively important scene, I guess, in the earlier part of the movie with Rebecca. So that's kind of cool as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I told him. I mean, Matthew Mercer's been doing the voice of Leon for so long, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys got to get in and get a voice in there. So
right.
It was cool to do that. You know, it was cool to do it.
Had you done voice acting before that?
You know what? I have not. I actually have not done a lot of that. It's fun. It's different, but I enjoyed being in front of the camera. So
right. The physical part.
But it was new. It was new. Yeah, yeah.
Was it such a great movie? Really enjoyed it, and there's a lot of interesting scenes, a lot of interesting parts. And have you watched Vendetta since then? Have you had a chance to check it out?
Oh yeah. I went to the theaters and saw it when it came out. That's right. That one-day release.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you guys
we had a screening in Sony. So I've seen it twice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was good. I mean, I was amazed at how real it felt. I was amazed how, you know, really made me jump. So I thought they did a fantastic job.
They did a good job of mixing the horror and some action scenes into it. Is there anything after you saw the movie, anything you thought that maybe that you would have suggested or had done anything differently from the movie?
You know what? I came to the Resident Evil franchise for the video game, for 6, and I always liked that Ada relationship with Leon.
Right.
That's always been a great relationship that wasn't in that, and I always think, from what I understand with the past of that character, that Ada character's always kind of, you know, had him kind of on his heels. So
right.
I was bummed that she wasn't in it. You know.
Yeah, it's a good point, and she was.
I thought they did a good job.
In Damnation, the CG movie before Vendetta, she was a big part of that. And it was weird not to see her come back into an entry in the series with Leon. So that is really off-putting. But, you know, the movie came out great. It would have been nice to have her, at least a little cameo.
Yeah.
And then Erin, when we were talking to her, she's had some really good memories. She talked about going to the karaoke, and I don't know if you remember her little phrase, mountain. You remember that at all? She had talked to us about, she yelled out mountain whenever you guys were on set, and I guess it was something the director was doing. He had a
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was I forgot what it was now. It's been so long, but yeah, he had some phrase where he'd yell and scream like in a fun way, but
right.
I can't remember what it was. But the karaoke night was fun. We did there was like 15 of us that went and did Japanese karaoke. And the way they do karaoke in Japan is different. You go into your own room, and you know, here in America, of course, you know, karaoke is more like it's out in the middle of the bar,
right,
and all that stuff. So it was, and we were singing up, you know, old '80s rock stuff, and it was a lot of fun. So we had a good time doing that, and then we went to that. Oh my gosh, it was that. A Japanese bar. It's the robot bar.
Robot bar. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, it's like the robot bar. Yeah, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see it. It was just like the wackiest, craziest. Like it was like this really popular tourist thing. When you go to Tokyo, everyone's got to do it. They've got their like celebrity wall of fame, and all these people have been through. But we did that as well, which was really cool.
Ah, cool. I was in Okinawa for a while, the small island down there, so I never got to see much of mainland, but I know how big karaoke is for the whole Japanese culture. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So, do you have any memories of your own that you remember? Any good times or any moments that were really special?
You know what? Let's see. Thinking back, I don't know. Anytime you get to film a movie like that on location,
right?
It's always special because it gives you a chance to really bond with the cast. You know, when you film in LA, it's like everyone films, they go home,
right?
But when you get away on set, on location, it's like everyone hangs together, everyone does dinner together. So a ton of memories. I mean, we went on this really cool boat cruise. The producers took us on. We rented this boat that looked over like the Tokyo Bridge, and we had all the sushi and
cool.
So that was a fun memory. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
sounds
then
like a good
at the
trip.
very end, yeah, it was great. In the very end, when we wrapped, when they do the motion capture, they slowly bring the characters to life, because once you're out there you filming, that the computer is slowly bringing everything together. So by the time we wrapped, we were able to fully watch our characters up on these huge screens.
Huh.
So, so at the very, very end, you could see us, and we were hooked in, so we could look at these huge monitors as us as a video game, and I could sit there and I could do the worm on the ground, or I could dance
and see Leon doing it.
I could see Leon doing it. So
That's cool.
that was a lot of fun. I mean, the first thing you start doing is pumping the air, and it was pretty cool to be able to see yourself as a video game. And then Aaron and I did a big dancing routine.
See, that stuff needs to be in the special features. They should have recorded all that.
Yep. So that was pretty cool to do that.
I bet that was cool. That'd be fun to see someday. Maybe somebody somewhere has a video of it and it'll leak out.
If you go on my Instagram back far enough, you'll see that I posted that.
Oh,
I posted
cool.
that video.
Oh, excellent. I'm gonna go take a look. So I'll have to dig through it. It was last year, so.
It would have been. You know what? I think it would have been within the last 6 months, because I think we were not able to announce
right
what we were doing until the movie aired, and I think that movie aired. You might know better than me. June.
Yeah, it came out in May in Japan, and then it got its June 19th was its stateside one-night premiere, and then the full release was on a Tuesday, I believe, for the I believe it was the digital copy, and the hard copy came out on Tuesday after that.
Yeah, that's right.
So, watching Vendetta, there's a lot of good mix of the horror and the action, and you and Ruben are very experienced with the martial arts and stunt choreography and everything. How involved were you guys in creating those scenes?
Not that involved. The script was pretty well laid out.
Okay.
And Capcom knew what they wanted to do. So I remember not having it be. I remember they had it all pretty well laid out, and the directors were awesome. So in terms of any creative control in it, not really. I mean, everything was laid out for us.
Okay.
I'm sure little changes or suggestions were made because they're always very open.
Right.
But I can't remember offhand, it being about a year and a half ago, what they were.
I remember seeing the scene at the end where Leon is fighting the mutated Glenn Arias in the big form, and there were scenes showing that they had done that part in Japan with a couple Japanese actors. Did you have anything to do with that? Were you in that at all? Or the hallway scene or the motorcycle scene? Was any of that you, or was it stuff that they had done in Japan?
That was me.
Oh, excellent.
The motorcycle scene was much less glamorous in real life.
Right.
The way we made it. I mean, I was on it looked like I was on I don't know, like this makeshift wooden, horse.
Right.
That whenever the motorcycle was taking turns, I'd have people behind me holding me, leaning the motorcycle.
That's
so
funny.
when you see it in real life, I mean, you really have to. It's funny sometimes when you're acting, they make it so easy for you because you're actually in the environment, but you really have to go there because you're in a blank room, sitting on like a wooden block, and then you have to make believe you're getting chased by those huge dogs, and so you have to really create that inner life for stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. You got to have a good imagination for it. So the hallway scene is pretty awesome. It's a lot of people compared it to something like John Wick. What was that like shooting that part?
The hallway scene. Which one was the hallway scene again?
It's the one where Leon and Chris are basically fighting back to back against waves of zombies that are coming at them.
Oh yeah. I can't remember how that went on the day. You were saying how did I enjoy shooting that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean your part in it, and how was that? How did that feel? I mean, what was it? What the experience was like? It's a really good action scene.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't remember what we did when I know anytime that Ruben and I are together. Obviously I know that Leon and Chris, and that's always a big moment.
Right.
So we always look forward to doing those scenes together. I know that when we did the video game, that scene where they drew fire on each other was a big moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was cool to do it, and they have it well blocked out. And so, like I said, it's always fun to shoot with Ruben because I know Chris and Leon is quite a big hit in that world.
Yeah, they are the two major male characters throughout the whole series, and they've never really crossed paths. until 6 when you guys square off against each other, and then this one we actually get to see them cooperate and take down all these zombies. It's just such an awesome scene.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not sure if you're involved in this or if you're even allowed to talk about it. If not, and if it's something we can't talk about, I can cut it out in editing. But has anybody contacted you about coming back as Leon for the RE2 remake?
Okay, so I saw that question when you emailed it to me. I've not heard anything about that.
Okay.
So, but if I did, I couldn't tell you anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay. Well,
but what is going on with that?
Well, they're doing a remake of Resident Evil 2, which came out in '98, and back then it was polygons, and it was still like a game that back then was beautiful, and we still play it today, and it holds up as a fun game, and it still looks nice. But they're doing a remake with updated graphics, updated mechanics, and we're not sure what's going on because all the voice actors, like Matt, was not brought back to voice Leon because of the strike. The actor strike for the voice actors and stunt and motion capture.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going on with it. We haven't heard anything from Capcom. Our voice actors are not returning. We don't know who's doing the motion cap. We're like in the dark about all this. So just curious.
Yeah, I have heard nothing about it. I do know that I have a really, really good relationship with Capcom.
Okay.
And I would be shocked if Leon comes back. I'd be shocked if I wasn't Leon.
Okay.
So as you say that, I was like, oh, this is cool. Matter of fact, as I saw that, the first thing I did is text one of the producers. I'm like, hey, Mari, what's going on?
Yeah, right.
So you're saying you heard for sure they were going to remake Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, they put it out a video, I think, almost 2 years ago, because there was initially a company in Spain, a small independent company that was doing their own version of a remake of the game, and it drew a lot of attention, and then they got shut down by Capcom, and then Capcom had to come out and officially announce that they were doing a remake. And that was, like I said, several years ago, so we've all been, there's been no update since then, except that it's coming. We just don't know when or what's going to happen, and now we know the voice actors aren't in it. The ones who have been doing this for, like Allison's been Claire Redfield for 20 years, and then she didn't get brought back, so the fans were not happy about that. But it's a business.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's the new way of their, like when they made Resident Evil 7, they have a different style of doing the motion capture. It's full performance capture where they take the actor and they scan everything, the face, the body, the movements, and the actor looks the same as he does in real life as he is in the game. Unless he's the monster, obviously, then he gets changed, but there's, direct copies of each other.
Now, I wonder how they would do that, seeing as Leon kind of has the look that he does. So
Exactly. That's part of the problem they're facing right now with 7 is they reintroduced Chris Redfield again, and it's not Ruben, it's not Roger Craig Smith or anybody who's done the voice like Kevin. It's a completely new actor that looks different from the Chris we know. So the fans, it's been a kind of an iffy year with Capcom with some of the choices they made with their characters, but
interesting.
Yeah, I still love the games. I'm still playing regardless, and the movies, so I support what they do just because I'm a fan. But it's definitely been a little bit of a shock to not see the people that we know or hear the same voices.
Yeah. People like to have that brand recognition.
Right.
So who was in 7 again? Was Chris in 7?
Chris shows up at the very, very end, and it wasn't official who he was at first. He shows up at the very end of the game. He takes off his helmet with a gas mask, and he says, "I'm Redfield." And he doesn't look anything like Chris. And then Capcom had to come out and say, it is Chris. We're making his own little DLC content that explains his story and why he's there. And we did the research and found out this is what the actor looks like. They're saying this is Chris Redfield, but that DLC has not come out yet. So
okay.
Supposed to come out in December.
That's interesting. I love doing all the Resident Evil stuff. It's been, the video game was literally, it was a 2-year process. From audition to end was almost 2 years.
Right.
And of course the video game or the movie brought me out to Japan for 3 weeks. So it's like every time they come calling, I'm on for a really great adventure, and it's always a really good situation all around. So
definitely.
Yeah, as you say that, I'm gonna call everybody right now and find out if there is anything on the horizon.
Yeah, definitely. And we hope you definitely get the part, because you, like I said, you brought this element to it, posture wise. Just the mechanics of how you walk and move, everything looks so great as Leon. There's a level of confidence of how you carry yourself that just it all is Leon to us. So.
Oh man, I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the same thing with watching Ruben. Ruben has a certain ticks to the way he moves and stuff. That this is Chris Redfield. He's been doing it for over 20 years. So.
Yeah.
That's
true.
We're pulling
that's
for you.
True.
Hopefully.
Well, I appreciate it.
Definitely find something out soon. I hope. So, do you have any projects? Do you have any projects you're working on that we should be looking for?
Yeah. So I just got done filming a TV series in Canada called ELE.
Okay.
Which is extermination level event. So that's going to have some extraterrestrial components in it as well.
Nice.
So we just finished that up in Ottawa, Canada.
Okay.
I've got a movie called Enuati.
Okay.
That just premiered over at DragonCon.
Okay.
The trailer did. So that'll be coming out this year. And all this, of course, I'll put on my social media.
Yeah, definitely.
And then got some surprises coming back on a certain show that everybody knows.
A certain show.
So hopefully there's some good stuff coming up here that we can announce more as the year goes on. But my social media, I'll make sure to put everything out there.
And speaking of social media, where can the fans follow you on social media?
My Instagram is my best one. That's the one I actually see and try to respond whenever I can. That's just my name, Jason Faunt.
Okay.
There's usually a few extra ones that pop up, but the one with the blue check mark, of course, is mine.
Okay.
And then Twitter is the Jason Faunt.
Okay.
And Facebook is the Jason Faunt fan site. So yeah, I'm pretty hands-on with that stuff. I do run my Instagram myself.
Okay.
So I'll put and promote everything from convention appearances to new projects up on there.
Okay. Definitely. I know I follow you on Twitter, and I don't use Instagram too much, but I'm going to jump over there and start using it more because it seems like so many people use it that I probably need to be on it. And then, do you have any parting words for the fans?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I just wanted to say thank you, everyone. Resident Evil has been a wonderful experience for me, and obviously it's been there before I got on board, so thank you to everybody for being such wonderful fans and being so supportive. And hopefully I keep staying a part of the franchise, and we can keep going on this ride together.
Yeah, we hope so too. We definitely hope to see you back as Leon. And if it's not the remake, it seems like maybe there might be a split in the movies and the games right now. Like I said, Chris in Resident Evil 7 is not the Chris that we know, but Vendetta came out after Resident Evil 7, and it's the Chris that we know. So whether it's you show up in the remake or maybe we'll get you in another movie, Leon has pretty much dominated the CG movies, so hopefully we'll see you at least back in that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you, guys. I'm pulling up here. I'll be in Salt Lake City all weekend signing, so
okay, perfect.
Hopefully if anyone's on the podcast, I'll be out there. I do have Resident Evil stuff with me, so.
Oh, excellent.
And also, jasonfaunt.com. That's my merchandise store, so any stuff can be ordered there as well. And we sign it and send it right out to you. So.
Oh, great, yeah. So if we want autographs, go ahead and purchase off of there.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. I'm really glad you were able to make it on here, and maybe we'll talk to you again here in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Great job. I'll talk to you guys soon.
That'll conclude our episode for today. Thanks again to Jason for giving us a bit of his time to talk. He really seemed to understand and care about Leon's part in the Resident Evil universe. It was great talking with him, and I hope he gets the call back to perform as Leon again in the future. Make sure to keep an eye out for his show and movie coming up down the road, as well as his return to a certain TV show. Also, look for him at conventions where he represents Power Rangers and Resident Evil. Follow him on social media to see where he'll be next. If you enjoyed this episode of the ROE Podcast and you're listening on YouTube, please leave a like. And if you would like more ROE Podcasts, definitely subscribe. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave us a review. The Residents of Evil is a Patreon-supported show, so if you would like to help support the show and unlock some other really cool perks in return, head over to patreon.com/ROE Network. I would like to give a special thank you to all of our patrons, starting with our sword key holders: Lynn, Kaylin Fox, Petros, Lueno, Peter Pickler, Charlie Robinson, Jeff Marcotte, Sarah Baxter, Amy Adams, Vil Kiss, Corey Marcoulier, and Warrior. On On to our armor key holders: JC Wesker, Nathaniel Goring, Dorota Medij, P. Thomas, Yazjin 3XZ, Lerwin, Bryce Ray Parker, and Tyler Seth Parsley. Next up is our shield key holders: Tom Tom, Shane Woolwine, Thiago Pereira dos Santos Silva, Kongming Yang, and RJ Mitchell. On to our helmet key holders, or our key collectors: Kuhn Cannon, Sebastian Buse, Amy Notsuma, Caesar Leal, Bailey Ritter, Liam Davis, Umbrella Corporation, Kendall Gunshop, and Steve Jacobson. And this podcast was brought to you by our Master of Unlocking Patreon members. This is our highest tier level: Cursed Toast, Santiago Alcantara, Trent Overton, Proxy 1, and Chris Lambert. So thank you guys so much for all your support. Make sure to follow the Residents of Evil on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram to find out who our upcoming guests will be for the ROE podcast. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you back at the Residents of Evil.